and events page, just as a team of our writers are doing presently. By blogging on Clevenard's blogs and events.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to CleverNet TV. CleverNet is created with the vision to connect Africans with the rest of the world. Please don't forget to sign up at www.clevernet.com. Please sign up so that you can watch interviews, free movies. You can also shop online, advertise any of your products, and many more things you can do on CleverNet TV. Today we have a very beautiful and lovely guest with us. I remain your host, Promise. And our guest today is Mr. Tolu Akinyemi. He's an author of so many books. I was reading about him. I'm like, wow, okay, this man has gone far. And today we'll be talking about The Morning Cloud is Empty, which I'm wondering why that's title. But it's fine, we'll get that. We'll talk about it later. So, Mr. Tolu, please kindly introduce yourself to the viewers.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for having me on the show tonight. Yeah, so basically, my name is Tolu Akinyemi, also known as Toludo, the Lion of Newcastle. I'm a multiple award-winning author of 20 books, published books. I write in the genre of short stories, essays, poetry, and children's literature. And I'm based in Newcastle upon Tyne, United Kingdom. And I am a Nigerian author as well.
Wonderful. Like you deserve an accolade. But it's good to have you. But I just want to find out, okay, what motivated you into writing?
Yeah, so I think I have been a reader all my life. So growing up as a young boy, I used to read a lot of books. I used to do a lot of journaling as well. So when I was growing up, I would read newspapers in and out. I used to read a lot of historical books, political books, and I was just interested in reading. And I think when growing up, I didn't have any specific plans to become a writer. I was fascinated with reading. I used to write screenplays as well as a teenager. And so I think it was just natural that, the transition from being a reader to becoming a writer. I used to be fascinated a lot with books, the way, a book can transport you, your emotions, your being into you when you are immersed into a good book, and you are rooting for a certain character and all of that. So I think the transition for me was very effortless in terms of transitioning from, a reader to a writer. But basically, I published my first book, a collection of inspirational poetry in 2017. That was just over 5 years ago. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Wow. Wow. Hearing you talk about how much you read so many books, it made me feel ashamed because I barely can pick up a book to like read, except it's like my textbook or something. But if you ask me to pick up a novel and just promise read this novel, I struggle. I just don't know how you do it. But I envy you, Shem. I respect you. And so like you spoke about you've written in poetry and scripts, you did script writing and stories. So like I know like some people because I know some people this so what's the transition from moving from short stories and now you write novels and scripts and all those things? How was it like?
Yeah, so okay, so so in terms of children's literature, I'm a dad of two young children, so we interact every day. So that is like an impetus as well. I hear from them, they tell me about their activities in school. I get to, so I fit into their role as well, feel like a young child. I, I wear their shoes, I know where it pains. So it's easy for me to write, children's literature. In terms of poetry, I love, the brevity. In terms of poetry, you are writing, I have a collection of short stories That's about 40,000 words. But if I want to communicate all that 40,000 words into maybe those 7 stories, I can pass that same message across in just 7 poems. So what poetry affords us is brevity, ability to like communicate and pass across our message using just short burst of words to get the reader. So rather than reading maybe 10,000 words, you can read a poem of just maybe 20 lines, and you get the message, the same message you are getting from a story of 10,000 words. So poetry, brevity, fantastic. In terms of short stories, I'm a writer who fits a lot on the everyday human experience. So I thrive a lot on our human experiences. So basically, if you're writing about the human experience, you can never ever run short of ideas, run short of things to write about, because every new day new things happen in society, in our environment, in our community. So I'm just a writer who thrives a lot on spontaneity, a lot of spontaneous stuffs. And I also write essays as well. So just essays, which is non-fiction, just about everyday occurrences. So just immersing myself into things as they happen, and just being able to communicate my ideas to the world. So I think I'm able to like merge everything together, because as I'm just a writer, or a writer with different elements to my writing, and whatever genre I'm writing, I'm able to like just fit into it effortlessly.
Amazing. Lovely.
Thank you.
Okay. It's very motivating that you've written 20 books in from 2017 to 2023. And it's just, to me, it's like a short gap. So like, how did you do it? How?
Yeah, so I get asked this question like all the time. People ask me, "Oh, Tolu, how do you do this? How does this happen?" And for me, I what I say is that whatever you whatever you believe or you think is important to you, you always create time for that which is important to you. Apart from being a writer, I also work within the UK financial crime compliance space, and it's actually very busy, very demanding environment. Working, on to ensure that we have a cleaner financial system within the financial services sector. But in spite of my day job, I just always, every morning I go on a walk, like running, exercise, I connect with nature. So I'm just spontaneous and everything. Even my 21st book, as I'm talking to you, is ready.
Wow. Wow, amazing. I'm impressed. Like you now you're saying you work at UK financial compliance space. So tell me, what time do you, with all these things, what time do you have to sit down and say, okay, let me just write things I wanted to use for my next book out? What time did you get? Do you get?
Yeah, so basically I create time. So it could be in the morning on my morning run, it could be in the evening after work. There are times I write in the midnight where everyone is sleeping, so it depends. Weekends, on recently I traveled out of town, and I was just inspired on the train, on the train journey. I was just writing and writing on my phone, and when I got to my destination as well, I just kept on writing. So basically it's just something that that is continuous. I'm just always after work, weekends, every opportunity I have, apart from during my working hours or whatever. But any opportunity I have, I'm just always writing. And yeah, so that's it. Whatever you think is important to you, find time for it. And I think that's a mantra that I live by.
Like, I'm really impressed. Like, I don't know. Do you think you can like share some talents with me? you know, I would love to be like you, like at least let me just have a bit, even if it's just to be reading. Like, how do it's, I'm impressed at everything you've said, and what you're doing at your work. It's very motivating, and I'm sure a lot of viewers here are motivated by everything you've said so far already. So what do you think makes your book stand out from, because there's so many books in the market, and walk into a bookshop and you don't even know which one to pick. So what do you think makes your book stand out from the rest of the books?
Yeah, I think it's just the originality in my voice, and I think that was what I wanted to achieve when I first, I wanted people to pick a book and feel like, oh, Tolu Akinyemi, this is a Tolu Akinyemi's book. So I think just being original, being able to connect with my audience, and I have wide readership from around the world, and people can feel the emotions. People can feel, some say, oh, Tolu is an angry poet. But people can feel the emotions. People can connect with my words. I write about everyday human experiences, and we're all facing the issues, issues that affect us, be it human climate crisis, human crisis, cost of living crisis, a lot of things just happening every day, and it affects every one of us. And so I think people can connect to my voice and they can feel that authenticity in that voice. So I think that really makes a difference, and it's a game changer for me as well.
Amazing. But why human experiences? Why not about trees or something or some plants? Why human experiences?
Yeah, so human experiences encompasses everything. So basically, I've written like a collection of poems that talks to the Black experience. Black does not equal inferior. I've written children's books, to help young children boost their self-confidence. I wear self-confidence like a second skin. I am not a troublemaker. I've written on mental health. Everybody don't collude mental. So those are, so various segments of the human experiences. The book that I mentioned I just finished is, the theme is on the financial crime compliance space. So basically, there are so many segments, and like the money cloud is empty is about a pivotal issue affecting all of us, climate change, and all of that. So I think basically human experiences is universal. What you talked about, plants, trees, they would also still come under human experiences. If I were to write a book about plant, trees, and everything, it will still be about, how the human nature infuses into, plants, nature, and everything.
Is that a book? I think I just gave you an idea for your for another book.
Just give me an idea. You're coming soon.
Oh, nice. Okay, thank you so much so far. So, before we get down into the book, your 20th book. That's your 20th book, right?
Yeah, demonically, yeah. That's 20th, yeah.
Okay, but before we get there, I was reading about you, and I saw you are into an organization about Lion and Lilac.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell us more about it?
Yeah, Lion and Lilac is a UK-based art organization that aims to use literature, to provide a home for writers from underrepresented backgrounds. So there are so many times writers, from they don't really have the opportunity to like get their works into magazines because so it's just a magazine to help people from underrepresented backgrounds to find a voice and find a home for their works as well. So that's the whole idea behind Lion and Lilac, to provide a platform where people can like find a home for their literary works, and that is what we are doing. We've done a couple of events as well over the past year, where have established authors come on the platform and just talk about issues affecting issues that could help to boost issues that could issues in literary space that we need to discuss about, trash or talk about and all of that. Yeah, so Lion and Lilac is just a home for literature, basically helping writers to find a secure home for their works.
But it's just based in UK.
Yeah, it's based in UK, but we accept works of writers from across the world. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice, because I was gonna ask you why is the organization not trying to reach out globally?
Yeah, so we've published works from across the world: UK, the States, Canada, Australia, Nigeria, and other African countries as well. Yeah, so basically, it's a global organization, but just based in the United Kingdom.
Amazing, thank you so much. Viewers, heard a lot from Mr. Tolu Akinyemi. Um, he's an amazing author. I'm sure you will agree with me. But quickly, before we get down to the main topic for today, I would like for us to just go for a short break. Please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Just drink water and just stay right there. We'll be right back. Thank you.
In the 21st century's technological advancement, we all seek opportunities to move and network with the emerging space. Introducing Clevenard blog and event posting. Do you think you have some interesting materials, good content, articles, and stories? Then feel free to publish them on Clevenard blog and events page, just as team of our writers are doing presently. By blogging on Clevenard's blogs and events, you benefit from our reach and network. There are constant stream of people visiting our social platform, and we have figured out just how to distribute our contents. This means you can basically skip the line and get access to a big audience from day one. Furthermore, we can help you get in touch with important people for projects with possibilities of translating your content into other languages and republishing them on Clevenard. This helps preserve and protect your content from getting lost. What's more, you also get to be part of our team with access to our network and lots of exclusives, behind the scenes information. And of course, you get full credit for everything you do, which brings you popularity and make extra income. Sign up now on clevenard.com and start blogging to your advantage. Please see the tutorial video on how to blog or post events on Clevenard blogs and events. For more information, contact info@clevenard.com +34 631 279811. Website www.clevenard.com. Clevenard, your blogs, your identity.
Hello viewers, welcome back to CleverNet TV. Please do not forget to sign up to CleverNet TV. And we have our amazing guest, Mr. Tolu, who is an author. He's still here with us. I'm sure you've heard a lot of amazing things about writing books and how to write books, because now I've gotten enough motivation on how to write books already. So to get into today's, what motivated you into writing about the morning cloud is empty? I never knew the cloud is empty. So what's the motivation?
Yeah, so the motivation for that, like I mentioned earlier, was I'm a writer who writes about the human experience. And, when I go out every morning, going to running, jogging, and everything, one day I just saw, just looking at nature, connecting with nature, and issues around climate change. And I felt like, even though it's not all about climate change, like I mentioned earlier, it's just all about happenings around us, the cost of living crisis, climate change, poverty in the land, just everything affecting human experiences. What motivated me basically was just to put out a work out there that will resonate with the current happenings in the world. So a book that anyone can pick and feel like, oh yeah, this is me, this is happening to me, this is this is what I face, and like what we have in the UK, mortgage rates going up, pandemic of empty pockets, then just issues around climate change, not just affecting every part of the world. I felt it was an important topic, everyone, we all have a platform where we can, talk about the things that matter to us, write about the things that matter to us. And I felt this was the right time, and this book was a good one for me to use to communicate that message out there.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Maybe you can read a line of or two, just so that we can also understand what's happening in the book.
Okay, yeah. I'll read the poem from and this is the book, The Morning Cloud is Empty.
Beautiful.
So this one is, Just trying to. Okay, this is titled, and like this is Pandemic of Empty Pockets 2. And this is just talking about, this point is speaking to the issues in relation to the cost of living crisis. Cut your coat to fit your deflated size. Cut your coat to the specifics of this pandemic of empty pockets. Inflation is a turbulent sea, tipping boats and sinking dreams. Cut your coat to cover your rising bills. Cut your coat as you trudge on this poverty hill. The cost of living is an all-consuming current, and we are far adrift from the seashore. Cut your coat before your pockets fill up with salt water. Thank you.
Nice one. That's nice. Viewers, are you hearing? Cut your coat, because the pandemic literally dealt with us. So I can say this book, it's part of the pandemic. It was what motivated you into writing it, right?
Yeah. So the pandemic, cost of living crisis, and there are times that even when government makes like decisions, you don't really feel like the impact of government decisions. But in recent times in the UK, there have been decisions that everyone felt like the impact. Say, in terms of the mini budget in September and everything that happened thereafter, mortgage rates rising and all of that. So everyone, like, you can go to the store, things you bought like a year ago, they've all doubled in prices thanks to inflation. So, and you can see the line, inflation is a turbulent sea, sinking boats and tipping dreams and all of that. Yeah, so it's just, yeah, so basically these are issues that affect all of us, in our day-to-day lives. And yes, I felt I needed to put the work out there.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much, because we're in a time where a lot of people are still trying to recover from the whole pandemic, and then there's still a lot of, even here in South Africa, because I'm in South Africa, and the inflation. Last week they increased the fee for petrol, so a lot of people are suffering, and the economy is going down everywhere. It's not just only Africa that's affected. Every country all over the world is affected with the whole pandemic and everything, and we're still trying to get on our feet. We're still trying to recover. So I think this book is very motivating, and it can teach people on that you should cut your coat. You need to reduce your cost. If you're wearing $1 million shoe, you need to reduce it now to 500.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's an interesting, it's a lovely book. Do you have another line to read for us?
Yeah, let me read one about the climate change as well. So let me just find one to read about climate change. Okay, so this one is on climate change. Prayer for clemency. I prayed this morning once again in scorching pain. I called on God to swallow these floods that have eroded our sweat and blood. We are prisoners of erosion and the rain. We are prisoners of erosion, and the rain of anguish captures our emotions. God of tidal waves, the rainbow and arc, and 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Swallow these floods and eliminate this ache that has left us on the floor. Tonight, I am floating on the seashore, my eyes piercing the clouds, waiting on God to dry these floodplains and accept our sacrifices, overflowing like rainwater.
Another amazing one.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. So is your book online for people to read, to buy online?
Yeah, so it's on all Amazon marketplaces. It's also on my website, toludo.com. on the roaringlionnewcastle.com, which is my publisher's imprint. Yeah, so and everywhere where books are sold. Yeah, so my books are available.
Okay, so tell us more about Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle is a great place. I moved to Newcastle I first came to Newcastle in 2016, and it's been a beautiful place. The literary community here, they've been fabulous. Actually, I came in. One of my friends in the literary space said when I came in 2016, I was a cub in the literary space, and now I have grown to become the lion of Newcastle. And I think my literary works as well bears testament to that title, the Lion of Newcastle. And Newcastle has been a beautiful city for me. I wrote a poem about Newcastle, you know, talking about my sojourn into Newcastle, how I have sojourned into cities that swept off the imprint from my shoe sole in an instant. But Newcastle has embraced my literary talent. I have flourished in Newcastle, and Newcastle has been home for me, not just in the literary sense, but in every sense you know, a, where we go to new lands and we find solace in the land. Newcastle has been a land of peace for me.
Lovely. That's nice. I guess we'll also want to visit Newcastle.
Yeah, we welcome you in Newcastle. It's a welcoming city. It's a beautiful place to live in and to be a part of.
That's nice. Thank you very much for this. For being. I'm sure a lot of viewers they've been motivated by everything you've said so far about your books, your journey from 2017 to 2023. It's amazing to see the talent of yours. So we really appreciate you for coming to CleverNet TV. And I don't know if there's any other thing you want to say to the viewers watching.
Yeah, so I would say that your dreams are valid. And what I always say is that if I can do it, so to anyone out there who has dreams to maybe not just write a book, to achieve anything in life, and you are watching tonight, if Tolu Akinyemi can do it, if I can, write all of this, then there's nothing stopping you as well in your own area of gifting and talent to put your to put your gifts and talents to use, to awaken your inner lion, which is the title of one of my collection of essays. We all have a lion within us. I also have another collection of essays titled Unravel Your Hidden Gems. There was a time in my life as well. I didn't know I knew I had all of these gems, but I never unraveled them. So, you know, the onus is on you to put your gifts to use. And when you do that, the world is your oyster. You can, your talent and your gifts will take you to places where you never can imagine. So I admonish you that your dreams are valid. So that is my word to the people watching.
Thank you so much. Viewers, you've heard from Mr. Tolu Akinyemi. It's said if promise Ebuzeme can do it because Mr. Tolu did it, you can do it. So it's a word of encouragement for everyone watching. If he can do it, you can do it. So say to yourself, if he can do it, I can do it. You can do anything. So we must always have in our mind that we can do anything, whatever we lay our mind to do, whatever we lay our hearts to do, as long as there is the right motivation, and we can always encourage ourselves to do it, and we can always do it better. Thank you, viewers, for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.